Hello, dear friends. My name is Sofia Dorinskaya. I am a doctor and the head of the Center for Medical Information. Since medicine is rightly called a philosophy, although we don't practice medicine specifically, we don't treat, we nourish. Elimination of nutrient deficiencies. This is a restaurant. This is a well-constructed menu. But this has to do with the human body. So today we will discuss together and start from the beginning. The human organism, the human body, is a biochemical machine. Let's look at the dictionary definition of what a machine is. A machine is a mechanism or a set of mechanisms that performs some useful work by converting one type of energy into another. Does this definition fit the definition of the human body as a machine? Of course, it's definitely not a single mechanism. It's a set of mechanisms. Our body performs some kind of useful work. Yes, constantly. We can't function at all without our body and interact with the physical universe. With the human body, we pick up different objects. In other words, it's specifically with our body, with our own body, that we interact with the physical universe, with other people. And of course, the human body as a mechanism performs useful work, and then by converting one type of energy into another. Of course, what kind of energy does it use? What kind of energy does the human body need? The energy from food, the energy from food. And into what kinds of energy is this energy converted? Into many forms: kinetic, thermal, electrical, pneumatic. You exhale, or trumpeters blow their horns. You shoot peas, for example, or spit somewhere. That's pneumatic energy, maybe into nuclear energy, maybe, nobody knows. And so on. Maybe there are some other types of energy, but still we have the energy that we get from food, and this energy is chemical. There are chemical processes happening there, and then this type of energy is converted into many different kinds of energy that the human body uses, which the human body possesses, thus performing useful work like a mechanism. Continued. From this, it follows that hospitals and clinics are service stations for this special type of body. Let's draw an analogy. Doctors are skilled repairmen, and the human body. Do you agree? Do you agree? These repairmen are divided into different categories. Resuscitation is a repairman of the human body who knows how to save it in a critical situation. A surgeon knows how to cut something out, sew it on, stitch it up, or tighten it, and so on, to patch things up, so to speak. By analogy, it's like replacing an engine, changing a wing, and so on. Who are therapists? Therapists are repair specialists who, with the help of substances, can change the functioning of this biological machine and restore it. If they can't restore it, then they're not good repair specialists. But initially, the therapist, I'll repeat, therapy, why is it called the Queen of Medicine? Why? You need to study all the processes happening in the human body in order to take control of a pathological process, reverse it, and bring it back to normal. That's why no one else needs all of this. That's why we need to reason, because we have to understand what process we're dealing with and how we can reverse it at our own will. Let's go back to the repair shop of a regular car. You have to admit there's a difference in how it's used. A car that drives in Sochi, a car that drives in Yekaterinburg, and a car that drives in Norilsk. A car that drives in Sochi has one set of conditions, while a car that drives in Yekaterinburg has completely different operating conditions. A car that drives in Norilsk has completely different operating conditions than a car in Sochi. Let's take cars for different purposes. There are family cars. You arrive at work, and your car stays there all day, from morning until you leave for home in the evening. What is the service life of such a car? 20, 30 some people drive them for 50 or 60 years. There are cars that run perfectly even after 100 years. But taxis have different operating conditions. In 2 to 2.5 years, a new car becomes a wreck that can't be restored and needs all parts replaced. And when you come in, if you bring your car to a repair shop, then your mechanic, he asks, or at least sees, he definitely has in mind the point about the car's operating conditions for sure. If he repairs taxis, he knows what breaks down due to heavy use. If he repairs a family car, he knows that too. What substances, what fluids are used? A car that drives in Sochi, in Yekaterinburg, and in Norilsk is also different. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? It turns out that the fluids poured into a car that drives in Norilsk are completely different in their characteristics from those for a car that drives in Sochi. They're more viscous there. Well, let's put it that way, yes. And if you and these substances there, all these fluids are viscous. They're kind of specially made. If you pour them into a car that drives in Sochi, you'll ruin the car that drives in Sochi. Because it doesn't need them, the conditions there are different. So, gentlemen, we're talking about metal, about a car that's made of metal. And now we come to the service station for the meat body, the living body. And not a single question about the operating conditions at all. Not one. Not a single question about how you feed your body. Not a single question at all. We have a child with depression, and we prescribe antipsychotics for them at ages 2, 4, and 7. And no one asked what this child eats. But he doesn't eat anything. He doesn't eat anything. But if the child doesn't eat meat and only eats noodles and some cookies, where will the good mood come from? Why does no one find out the operating conditions of this particular biological machine? If only... Ask any car owner. Just visit a repair shop. Let's say you have a problem with your engine. You go to a good repair shop. A technical specialist. He will figure out the reasons why something is rattling or knocking in your engine, why your exhaust is black, and so on and so forth. He'll ask why. Or he will just tell you, look, here's an additive, pour it into the gas tank, and that's it. Just pour it in, and that's it. See, you pour it in, you drive around, and now there's no more knocking, no more rattling, no more black exhaust. That's it. I helped you. Would you agree that you found a good mechanic? No? But when you go to the doctor and say you have heart palpitations, you get a beta blocker as a solution. It's like adding something to gasoline. But why not? Why don't they deal with the problem? Why does no one deal with the problem? I have high blood pressure. Here, take a medication for high blood pressure. But what's the cause? That's a very bad service station. Those are very bad specialists for repairing the biological machine. If no one is interested in the question, why? But why? You see, any auto mechanic would laugh at the only solution being, let's just pour an additive into the car, and I've fixed it for you. No one would agree that this is a solution. So why is this kind of solution accepted in medicine? After all, doctors, hospitals, and clinics are like service stations of the fleshly body, ours and yours. A special kind of body, a biological machine. We've already figured out that it's just a biological machine, that's all. Why do people think the human body is hard to understand? Why can an iron mechanism be understood? And medicine has existed for millions of years, just between us, millions of years. And we still have genetic suffering. Genetic diseases, we can't do anything about them. And the number of genetic diseases is just skyrocketing, like it's on yeast, and skyrocketing like it's on yeast. We can't change the situation. These are very bad service stations. These are very bad specialists for repairing a special type of machine, meat machines. They're called meat bodies. These are very bad specialists, and the specialists who can do it are worth their weight in gold. The specialists who understand are worth their weight in gold. You understand? See, we can and we understand. We can reverse processes. Because this is the right way to look at how the human body works. It's a very correct perspective. To treat it like a machine, a special kind of machine, to know the processes, to understand that this special kind of machine strives to survive on its own, no matter what. Therefore, we need to give this body all the necessary substances, the right substances. By figuring out the operating conditions, by adjusting the operating conditions of the specific machine that belongs to a specific person, we improve the condition, we change the state. If the situation has reached the point where you need to see a doctor, you go to the doctor, and we tell you which one, what needs to be done, and you come back after they have treated you. But this perspective, this attitude toward the human body, toward the human organism, as if it were a machine, and, in general, the application of standards to helping this body. Like with top-quality machines, like in premium, expensive service centers. Only this leads us on the right path. Well, excuse me, health. Because if you don't find anything out, don't find out the operating conditions, don't take into account the region where a particular body's operating, don't take it into account, not even ask at all what this person eats, and just, like car additives, it's always take this pill or use that ointment for every issue, without actually understanding the cause. But that's very poor help. That's very poor help. And if we were talking about a car repair shop, it would go out of business. It would go out of business. You need to have the right perspective and actually understand. That's our situation. Thank you for your attention. If you need our help in restoring your condition, if you still have any questions, if you have some illness that you keep treating and treating and treating, but nothing seems to work, somewhere out there, no one knows if there's any improvement. That means you need to look at everything from the very beginning. You need to consider the case as a whole. So, somewhere there is missing data. And most likely, first of all, it's data about nutrient deficiencies. and you just need to address them properly. So please come. We will help you. My name is Sofia Dorinskaya. Thank you for your attention.